Hello and welcome everyone to the final build of my Beast 3.0. For those of you who are not very techy or geeky or into computers, just a basic overview, this thing runs pretty fucking fast, just saying. To everyone else who's actually into the same stuff like I am, but you know, all 7 of you over there, maybe 8, I don't know. I'm going to go through a quick overview of what I have in this rig, which you can actually see kind of just from right here what I have. I have an EVGA card and a Asus Sabertooth Z77 motherboard, which is a very, very beautiful board if I do say so myself. But just from the exterior, I chose this case because it looks pretty nice. I like the half stack of the window instead of having a full window. Kind of looks more like a, as someone said, a stormtrooper. You don't really think so, but yeah, whatever floats your boat. But now for the guts and glory, the interior of the beast. Yes. Alright. Down below we have a Corsair AX850 Professional Series power supply, which is plenty enough power to run actually 2 of these cards. That's why I went ahead and got it, and I got it on deal. Most of these parts I actually got on deal through either Newegg.com or Tiger Direct. So if you're ever interested in building a computer, I would say if you can, wait a little while. Don't buy all the parts at once and wait and see. You might have some deals here, and try to save you a few dollars, and maybe put that towards even more parts or even better parts in your system. But to go along with this Corsair power supply, I actually bought these separate braided cables you can get. They're designed specifically for the AX series of power supplies, and it adds a nice little effect. Helps make it a little sleeker, looks a little pretty than having the black cables, and especially if you have a power supply with the different color cables, it just kind of looks cheesy. I wanted something a little sleeker. For the power supply, the GPU, we have the GeForce GTX 680. On the faster single GPU cards out there, this is for the 1 edition. For the RAM, which you can see that blinking away right now, and that's the main reason why I wanted this RAM. This is the Avexir Core Series DDR3 2133 MHz RAM. As it's being accessed, it actually glows in this pattern, and the reason it really does that is because when RAM's being accessed, it's not accessed at one time. This is dual channel RAM, so as it's accessing, it lights up. Or at least that's how I understand how that lighting effect works for this RAM, how they designed it. But some people might say, oh, well, this is Avexir. Who ever heard of Avexir, man? This you're buying shit RAM. No. Avexir is actually an OEM that makes parts for other RAM manufacturers. They just recently came out with their own line of RAM. They actually have a basic series, which doesn't have the special lighting effects. I got this one because, well, it looks pretty sweet. For the, again, the motherboard, as I mentioned, is the Sabertooth Z77 from Asus, which has this nice, very nice thermal armor. Nice flat black to go against the rest of the case in the background, so you don't see all like protruding parts, whatever. It looks a little sleeker. And it comes with its own little fans for extra thermal cooling. Thermal cooling, yes. For the CPU, I have the Intel i7-3770K. It's a 4-core hyper-threaded processor, so while it has 4 physical cores, it actually has 8 threads running, which is great for video editing, some light rendering, which actually, using Blender, which I'm currently using right now to kind of teach myself how to do some animations, a lot of the actual rendering can be done with this card right here, which has over 1500 CUDA cores, which is designed for that purpose. And right now I have the i7 running at 4.2 gigahertz, and that has been cooled by this very lovely H100i liquid cooler. It's from Corsair, and I had the H80 in my previous build calling an FX 8120, and I had that overclocked to 5 gigahertz. 8 physical cores, which is not truly 8 cores. It's a long, different video there, but that ran pretty hot, but the H80 kept it nice and chilly. Now, for those of you familiar with the Ivy Bridge series of CPUs, the thermal layer between the actual plate on the CPU and the chip itself is not very good, so these have a tendency to overheat, which is why I wanted to get the H100i, because I didn't plan on overclocking it very much. 4.2 gigahertz is fine for me. And I replaced the stock fans on the H100i, which are basically a dumbed down version of the fans I bought for it. I have 4 of these SP120 Corsairs. They're static pressure fans, and these are the high performance fans. I wanted to go with Quiet Edition, but whenever I game, I use headsets anyway, so I wouldn't really hear it, so I wanted to get the most performance I can out of my rig. As far as hard drives go, I have 3 drives in my system. Right here I have an Adata 120 gigabyte SSD. This is for my operating system and games, mainly for Battlefield 3 and a few other games. Right here I have a 320 standard hard drive, 7200 RPM. This is for the rest of my games, and it's a scratch drive, so I don't constantly have read and writes going on this drive. Or my third drive, which is a primary storage device. This is a 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda drive, again 7200 RPM, and that's just for storing music, videos, and other rare goodies. And as you can see right here, I have a little accent lighting. I bought this Bitphoenix LED strip, like 20 bucks. Add a little extra lighting to the case. That's pretty much it. The actual case I got is a Thermaltake MKI Chaser, which, in retrospect, it's a good little case. I like the features of it. I like the lighting. I like the fans. I just wanted to be able to put my lighting strip up here, which is kind of would make it a little harder to really light everything. So that's why I stuck it right here. So yeah, and again, I apologize for the crappy video and crappy quality of the recording. It's not exactly a professional video, but you know, it does what I got it to do for now. I plan on adding a second 680 for SLI down the line. This is only a 2 gigabyte card. I was going to go with a 4 gigabyte card because I'd like to eventually add a multi-monitor setup. But 2 gigabytes should be sufficient for now. And if I do decide to upgrade later on, I don't like to use the word future-proof because nothing is future-proof. I prefer the term future-resistant, I guess you could say, knowing you can add a little bit more here and there. The only problem with this build is the socket's dead, in the sense of we're not going to see too many more LGA 1155 CPUs come out. Ivy Bridge is the last line for that socket. The next socket is going to be for Haswell, which is 1150. Yeah, I could have waited and got a Haswell CPU, Haswell board, but I'm not really an early adopter per se. I did with my last build. I got an AMD FX CPU 8120. And I've always been more of an AMD guy. You know, AMDs aren't for high-end system builds. They're more of a mid-range and low-range system builds. You can call me AMD fanboy, whatever. But I like many people were disappointed, and I'm not going to sit here and bitch and complain about it because, you know, shit happens. But it was an okay system. I overclocked it again to 5 gigahertz, which made it scream pretty much, but it had its drawbacks. This build, I wanted to go ahead and do an Intel build because I hadn't done an Intel build in a while. I'm not going to say which one's better or worse because AMD and Intel, you do your own research, you figure out what you want, what you need, what's best for your budget. Basically, AMD If you want to get the best bang for your buck and you have a limited budget, AMD is going to serve you just well. If you have a little extra money, go Intel. You get more power. They're a little more power efficient. It's not like you're gonna your power bill isn't going to go through the roof at AMD by any means, but you know it's a little better on power with the Intel. Um, yep. So that's pretty much it for this. I thank you for watching, and y'all have a great day.